Hello, hello. There we go. It's working. Okay, Midwest F1 League is back for our mid-holiday race. Sometimes we do 2 weeks off, sometimes we do one. This seems to be one of the seasons that we do one. So I hope everyone had a good Christmas or whatever holiday that you do celebrate. And we are going to finish it off for the last time here in the year 2022, unless there's something going on tomorrow. I don't believe so. But anywho, as per usual, I am Crash McQueen. I am joined by my Australian counterpart, Elma Jacko. How's it going down there in the future, Jacko?
It's wonderful. It's Friday the 30th, obviously.
Yeah.
And we're enjoying it. So how's it going over there?
It's finally, last week it was actually negative 12. So I'll take it. It's 5 degrees above. So I'm happy with that. That's freaking cold around these parts, negative 12.
I'm going to look up the temperature here. Currently 24, but this is Celsius. It should be Celsius for you, right?
Yeah, Celsius for me. Celsius for pretty much the whole entire world, except for certain countries.
One country. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, well, it happens to be the country that we are a part of here. So hopefully everyone is enjoying their break. Hopefully we can make it a little bit better as per usual. Quickly, we'll start with the Division 2 Drivers' Championship. And Shelly the Turtle, somehow not bringing a turtle to his name, leading the way so far with 343 points, unless my eyes deceive me. Scuba Steve sitting second, Front Runner third. VTech the GOAT fourth. Matt Rosie, a very quick driver, in fifth as well. And also to note, Nikki, this is his 100th race in the Midwest F1 League. That's quite the accomplishment.
Absolutely. I think only one of the second or third driver to get to that milestone.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's ahead of Helg, but Helg would be really close if not.
Yeah.
Pork Chops is the first because he's only ever missed 1 week.
That's unbelievable, really, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I think I missed like 3 or 4. So this actually might be my 100th week as well. I don't know.
Oh, we hadn't counted that. Yeah, it makes sense. It would make sense if it was.
Yeah, but okay, we'll continue on here before we get some drivers out here. We're in Monza this evening in the Division 2, slumming it up down in Division 2, Jacko and I are. Over to the constructor side, we see AlphaTauri leading the way, Alpine second, Mercedes third, Aston Martin fourth, and Williams fifth. Everyone else needs to get a little bit better. And then last week's race or 2 weeks ago, race that we were at in Division 1, the results saw Scornsy win, Ryan Rod second, and Edwin third. Do we have someone coming around ready to go on a hot lap there, Jacko?
Looks like there's a Haas, which would be the Hightower. Oh, not Hightower. Hightower's out at Lesmo too. It will be Hill in that case that's starting his lap. But something has gone wrong for his teammate. Unfortunate. It's an easy mistake to make though. Exeter, both Lesmos can be very slippery, and first victim has already been chalked up.
Yeah, we'll see how many drivers get caught up there. We are currently sitting with 15. We may get one more, and it seems like the break is having a lot of people unavailable for this race. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
not a full lobby.
It is normal to see much lower numbers in this sort of time of the year. It's been seen elsewhere as well, other than Midwest, and that's just an unfortunate part of league racing at this time of year.
Mm-hmm. No, for
15
sure.
in the lobby this time. It could be worse.
True. I've casted a race in this league with only 9, so.
I actually believe, quite importantly for Division 1, which we're not looking at right now, Ryan Rods is unavailable tonight. So that's going to be a massive chunk of points lost for one of the championship contenders, and a big opportunity for Scornsy and the like to extend or overtake him in the standings.
Yes, definitely. It'll be very tricky from that point on. The two Alfa Romeos setting the first 2 times of the session, of course. 16 minutes makes up the entire qualifying session. And penalties and whatnot can be added later on, depending on if they're
Optic has
given
put
out.
the Ferrari in the wall at the exit of Ascari.
Oh, goodness.
Shelley might be able to see that. Yeah, he's ploughed on to the right. That's quite an easy mistake to make as well. Two retirements so far without lap time set by those drivers. The only lap time set are done by Ferrari engine cars, which is interesting, but the only 2 retirements are also Ferrari engine cars.
Yeah, we got a good look on board Callie Robb there, and we got a purple sector too, which does claim to be the fastest car in that sector, but for all the people joining before, know that is typically some sort of glitch, so we'll see if that does actually carry. But no, it does not. Callie Robb going third.
interesting there. Lot more time in the lap for him for sure. Very well adept driver. Daycast currently with a 4/10 margin, almost 4/10 over Hill. Oh, now it's Hamiltonian jumping up there on the front row. And then there's a bit of a gap back after those guys to Kelly Robb there in 4th.
AE is also another guy that's been around for quite some time now. So I'm not sure what race he's at, but he's got to be up there too. Now, maybe next time we can get a drive around on a hot lap here. Jacko, you can take us around and walk us through one of the oldest tracks in racing. And we could.
Okay, who are we going to go on board with?
I think we got a little bit of time. Frenchie is just finishing up his lap, and then everyone else is in the pit, so we'll see what Frenchie can do. He goes 4th. So while we got a little bit of a lull here in the qualifying, we'll jump over and check out the Division 1 Drivers' Championship. And as Jacko stated before, number 2 driver in the rankings, Ryan Rodds, is unfortunately missing this race. So he's sitting 10 points back of Scornsey as it stands, and that puts the second place in large jeopardy with Race Day and Cake Thomas and potentially even Hoxton having the chance to vault him and push Ryan Rodds all the way down. So it'll be very unlucky for him. And actually, a point here, I believe EDA Galt Palmer newly promoted in the Alfa Romeo seat as well.
That would be key as well. Yeah, so while we were looking at that, Kelly Robb actually did a second flying lap on the same set of tyres and went over a second clear at the top. So he clearly found some extra time, or maybe just harvested on that first run.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, he's incredibly far clear of the rest of the grid so far, but only half the grid has set a time up to this point.
Yes. Why don't you jump on board with Nicky here, and we can take him on a flyer. But before then, I'll get through the constructors here with Mercedes sitting 1, McLaren trying to wipe away that McLaren curse. 2nd, Aston Martin, Haas, and Alfa Romeo. On to the rest of the season schedule. We have Monza, and then China is up next. And here we go, on board with Nicky.
All right, Nicky, the Centurion man in terms of league entries in Midwest, comes across the line to start his lap. He opens the DRS flap, gives him a bit extra speed down this straight, available twice during the lap in qualifying, for those who don't know. Hard on the anchors into the first braking zone, and negotiates the chicane fairly well, I would say, as you get good traction. Looks like no wheel spin there, took it in 4th gear on the exit, makes a lot of sense. Through the Curva Grande, should be flat out in all conditions. And now into the second chicane, very tough. There can be a bit of air if you hit the curbs incorrectly, and he kind of clips the second apex awkwardly, but saves it before going into the gravel. The 2 Lesmos now, nicely apexed and exited from Lesmo 1. Lesmo 2 is similarly well executed. Here's a second DRS zone. Slight kink here on the way up towards Ascari, named after the 2-time Formula 1 champion from the 50s. It's a left-right-left sequence here. Don't want to take too much curb because you can end up in a wall like we saw Optic earlier in the session. And now just 1 corner left to go. Commonly known as the Parabolica, but it's actually been changed to the Curva Alboreto in recent years, I believe. Mm-hmm. Is there an apex there for the Aston Martin? Not quite. Yeah, there was a bit of room there to find on the inside, but fairly tidy lap, and he's going to find himself somewhere up around, well, he doesn't actually improve. Oh, no, he does. It was 4th place.
Yes, first time set, and then quickly followed by Bobbert Yates, who vaults up ahead of him into 2nd. The only driver right now within a second to Callie Robb. Closely following as well, Shelley the Turtle, currently leading Division 2 Drivers' Championship, and shows exactly why, as he puts himself up into the 2nd spot and showing some proper pace.
Surprisingly, I wouldn't say surprisingly, but he is winning the championship currently with a decent margin over Scuba Steve, who's not in this lobby, and I don't know if he's reserving half, but that would be key to find out. But Shelley has not won any of the 5 races so far, so it's his consistency which has proven the way to the top of the standings, at least for now. So great effort there from the Aston Martin.
Checking the check-in here. And Scuba Steve did check in, so he must be up in Division 1.
Still, though, it's very difficult to crack into those top 10 positions in Division 1 for a Division 2 driver. So, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it can be tough to draw the maximum points you need to stay competitive in the lower division.
Yeah, a sneaky P2 there from JCast. I didn't even notice him coming over with the time. I'm not sure if you mentioned that.
Yeah, I think we both missed it. JCast, of course, experienced in Division 1 previously, last season, notably. Looks like his teammate is right behind him. Indeed, goes through. I'm not sure if that was a tow or if that was just circumstance, but Capital currently 10th, does appear to be on a lap, and is currently lowest of the drivers to have a lap time. He's got one corner to go, but we see if he can improve that from the 5th row perhaps to maybe a 4th row. Across the line, we'll go 7th. Indeed, he is in the 4th row, just eclipsing Nicky's time by around the 10th of a second.
Yeah, I'm currently all riding on board here with Houdini coming under to the bridge there on that infamous banked turn, and he does invalid coming into the first turn of Ascari there. And he'll have to go around and probably only has one more attempt. He looks like he's actually going to slow up here and try and send it again. Let's turn the battery off.
He does have 70% battery, so he can do that, yes.
He's got his teammate coming by here, and he actually might get a little bit of a tow from Frenchie. Frenchie's lining up one.
Typically, you'd say Houdini would be finding Monza to be a happy hunting ground, having been a Ferrari driver for so long in the past. Two drivers' championships in certain divisions. I think 3 and 4 early seasons for Ferrari.
And then I believe a top 5 the season after as well in Division 2.
Yeah, so a driver with plenty of history around this circuit, or at least fanfare. Not having the greatest session so far, but we'll see if he can pop himself up there in the last run. His teammate is 4/10 up on his previous best in the first sector. That would not be enough to improve his position, but if he can find more time in these last 2 sectors, maybe he could jump up another row on the grid.
Yeah.
Looks to have negotiated the Lesmos quite well. Opens the DRS and heads towards Ascari. We'll see what the sector split is just under this bridge. It's 9/10 now. Okay, so he's looking at quite the gain, maybe into the 20s, which could see him as high as roughly 5th.
Yes, and Frenchie did finish 2nd last season in Division 4, and it does have a Division 3 seat, and he's currently sitting
in 9th. It's a bit wide,
9th.
Alvaretto. I think that wide moment there cost him a position because he's, 3/100ths of a second off Capital there. He's definitely got time to get back to the pits, though, set another time on another set of softs.
Yeah, ended up losing a little bit of time there, actually.
Yeah, he went wide at Alvaretto.
Yeah.
I don't know if he went deep or if he just missed the apex tournament point. Either way, it cost him about 2.5 tenths, I think.
Yes, we've got one of the long-time OG of OGs, Helglian here. A long-time Division 1 man, now working his way in Division 2. Trying to find consistency. As many people know, Helg does have some solid pace, but the typical Helglian spin does tend to come and bite him on the keister every now and then. And more often than not, to be honest.
He was almost Dace before Dace was around.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that seems to be what happens. We always pick up drivers that are better version of like a long-time driver in the league. Like they drive so similar, but they have some sort of knack that just holds on. And yeah.
Indeed,
like
Helg does find one position extra on the grid right there. It was about 2/10 gain on his own previous lap time. A lot of that in the last sector, in fact. Very close to Bobby Yates this time, but I don't know if he's going to have time to get back to the pits, fit another set of tyres and come out. He might. He's going to have to push it, though.
Let's see here. I think Nicky right now is the only one on a hot lap here. Just finishing up Ascari, extending the turn. Maybe he could have taken a little bit more. but it's okay. Don't want to put too much risk here. Currently sitting with the second slowest time set of the session, but still he's holding on to 9th place at the moment. But 3
He's
drivers.
going to go up about 3 positions here, though. He looks quick. Oh, more than that. Okay, joins his teammate on the second row. Fantastic final sector. It was very close with Bobbert Yates and Helg there, indeed, within 1/10 those 3. But yeah, Nicky looking pretty good. Aston Martin also looking very nice.
And we'll see if Bobbert Yates has any sort of answer. Currently up on his time, about a quarter of a second as he just finished up Sector 2, but just took a massive chunk out of the entry turn into a Scari. I don't think...
It was wide as well, but
yeah.
I don't think he gained any time, and it didn't invalidate him.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll have gained anything, though. He probably lost time from doing that, so I don't know if we're going to see an improvement from the Williams man here.
Yeah, we'll see. He's going to finish up the lap anyway.
Oh, he does. Wow.
After that blunder. I mean, that's still got to give you a little bit of confidence, though, even after that mistake. Oh, and it looks like we have Gunner. I think Gunner's in the wall there in a Scari at the exit there. He's got his car turned back around.
Terminally damaged, but I don't think he's got time to do anything with the car rather than just getting it back to the pits. And then AlphaTauri. Oh no, it's just letting cars through. It's bad. Yeah, a lot of outlaps happening. I don't know if anyone's actually on the lap that's competitive. Maybe Bobbert in the inlet, so it's Nicky.
So I believe the rule of a late join in a session is you get 1 shot, right, at the end of the session? Or do you just not have it?
I think you have 1 shot at any point that you choose.
Yeah. Okay, so that's front runner right now. You did join after the lobby was started.
Okay, that's understandable.
But front runner had some solid pace. We'll see what he's going to be able to do with just 1 attempt. I mean, that's a pretty solid Division 2 team with Callie Robin front runner.
Absolutely. Very strong. And I think you said AlphaTauri were the leaders of the championship currently, so that does add up. Yeah, they're well clear of Alpine currently.
Looking like Alpine only has 1 driver here, and that's... Oh, do they even... Yeah, that's held down by Gunner.
I think the craziest thing I'm noticing right now is that none of the winners so far this season are in this lobby.
Oh.
It's no Jug, Hoxid, Say Irons, Clay the Monkey, and Got Palmer. None of them are here. So we're guaranteed to have a 6th different winner in 6 races in this division.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe is this the chance for Shelley to do it? I mean, anarchy always seems to happen at Monza, at least in the real life racing. And Houdini's on a hot lap, and his teammate Frenchie gets out of the way for him there. And it looks like Frenchie's going to get a nice little tow on his way down. Helg is just going to be able to get around. Frenchie should be able to just cross the line also. And Houdini, I didn't see any position improvement there. And
I think front runner's on a steady but strong lap here, looking to maybe jump into the front 2 rows. We're not getting any deltas, obviously, because it's his first lap, but splits I think look alright. And there's an Aston Martin in the wall of a Scari. I'm guessing that's Shelley.
Shelley's just waving to his fans. He's
Alright, here comes front runner.
Yeah.
He's about to finish his lap, and it's going to be a... Oh. He lost a lot of time there in the last sector. Only goes 11th, but his teammate furthers his pole margin to around 6/10. Incredible margin split. Such a difficult track to get such a margin. And that might be running away sort of gap right there in the race.
I didn't exactly catch Helg's sector split here before entering into a Scari, so we'll see if he's going to be able to improve.
He's 3/10 up.
Is he? No, okay.
From what I can see, which might see him as high as 2nd place.
Oh,
3 thousandths off.
Wow, so close. So close. Very, very respectable lap there from Helg, and some proper clutch in that blood to be able to put it all together there and nearly put himself up in the front row, but just missing out.
Yeah, super close. The session is over though. Everyone is either completed their times or entering the pits. So Tally Rob is officially on pole, and it's a huge margin. Huge, especially for Monza. Fantastic lap by him. I'll have to compare that to the Division 1 times to see where he'd stack up there.
Yes. Well, we have a little bit of a moment here. We're going to go through the Division 3 Drivers' Championship as well, with currently Electric Blade leading it. Cam Tizzle, quick driver there, sitting in third. Guitar Man Khan, Ray, and Pork Chops, all long-time drivers. Pork Chops, of course, a century driver, over 100 races with the league. And then you see at the back of the pack, dead text message. I'm allowed to talk about him because he's my buddy. Has not finished a freaking race this season. Keeps having something not go his way, in his opinion. In his opinion, that is. So we'll see if that continues on this evening. Aston Martin leading the constructors, Mercedes second, Williams third, Ferrari fourth, and Red Bull sitting in fifth.
Contrasting form there from AlphaTauri in Divisions 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. 2 there at the top and 3 there at the bottom. We get a good look at Helb's helmet there. Nice design. And there you see a 6/10 gap. That's 2/3 of a second basically. Tally Rob there over J-Cast. J-Cast though just by the skin of his teeth on the front row. Helb and Shelley on the second row of the grid, with Bobbert, Yates and Nicky in the second Aston Martin right behind. Then it's Adaltonian and Capital. Frenchie and Houdini side by side in the Mercedes pair. Frontrunner and Gunner also in lap times. Optic and Hightower are going to be, and VTEC are not going to be eligible for the hardest challenger point though, due to not setting a competitive.
Yes. Oh. I'm currently playing Spaceman Fantasy Hockey this week in the Midwest F1 Fantasy Hockey League. And the guy's team is 9-1. And I'm the only guy that can catch him right now, and he's kicking my ass right now too. The guy's just loaded. Rough go. We'll see. But, I mean, Monza's a solid track to end the year on. I mean, right? Like, out of the amount of tracks on the calendar, I mean, Monza would be pretty close up to the top.
In terms of what metric are we talking?
I mean, in league race and excitement.
Oh, yes. I mean, Monza, chaos. Chaos is the best word to describe it.
Yeah.
The temple of speed, it's like the fastest average speed of the season. The margin for error is so small. In my opinion, it's a much tougher track than Monaco, because at Monaco you're negotiating close to the walls, but you're going so slow that it's not that difficult. Here, the margins are, you're not going to hit a wall if you go, a centimetre or so to the left or right of where you should be, but you're going to spin, probably end up in a wall. But it's the edge of the track and the rise in the bumps and stuff like that really throw you around. Many drivers say this is the worst track in the calendar for that reason. In the game, I definitely agree with them. In real life, I mean, you can't have an F1 season without Monza.
Yes, very well said. Very well said. One thing I am noticing here is that McLaren don't have any drivers this evening.
That's right. That is very unfortunate. The only team to not have 2 drivers.
Yes, and
no,
the game
have any drivers actually.
Yeah, the game doesn't even have the guns out.
I mean, why would you unpack if you've got no one to service?
Yeah, I know. I never even noticed that. I didn't know the game went into that much depth to not even have them code the guns in the game. I was like, okay, proper play, Codemasters. I didn't think that was a thing. They should at least maybe have the drivers in the stands or something.
The drivers in the stands.
That'd be funny.
All right. Well, they're on the formation lap. Tally Rob takes the number 88 round in pole position, and he's on mediums. He's also joined on mediums in the front row by J-Cast. But then there's 4 drivers on hards. Then there's a lot of mediums down to 13th, and 2 further hards, 14th and 15th, Hightower and VTEC. So, I mean, it's not an even split, but there's no soft runners, and I think that makes perfect sense. don't have my notes out for this track currently, but I can look at them and see what I expect this to last.
The one note that I can give you off the top of my head without having anything written down is that VTech is in his happy spot.
Absolutely. He does love starting at the rear and just avoiding all the carnage. And this is a track that you want to avoid the turn one shenanigans.
Yes.
We've seen many real-life instances of that happening. Liuzzi in 2011, I think, ran into Rosberg and a myriad of other people. Mm-hmm. So it happens to the best of them. Now, looking at the notes I've got here, it says 8 to 9 laps you can get out of softs, about 17 out of mediums, 22 out of hards, and a 25-second pit delta. So you definitely don't want to be making extra pit stops at this track, especially under green flag conditions if you can help it. However, yeah, I don't know. I expect maybe there could have been some softs here, but it might be the plan that some of them go to softs at the end, which always makes sense for a fastest lap attempt as well.
Yes. And just a quick moment here for a proper congratulations and a big thanks to the man who's on your screen right now, Nicky64, long-time driver in the Midwest F1 League, of course, and having many seasons up in Division 1, and has been grinding Division 2 ever since, trying to get himself back up into the big dance. And he's found his way with some proper points, and still sitting with the chance to get himself back up into that Division 1 seat. So best of luck to the Century man this evening.
Absolutely. I'm really rooting for him to get a podium. But what a story would it be for him to get his maiden win in his 100th race?
Oh.
Fingers crossed for that one. But let's not curse him. He's starting 6th. Just get to the end of the race and celebrate that way, I think.
Just get through turn 1, really.
This is true.
And then see how it plays out from that point. But here we go. We're about to get it going here in Monza. Final race of 2022, the third calendar year that the Midwest F1 League has existed. And we have the red lights go out. And it looks like a proper start from Cali Robb. JCast doesn't look like he's going to have any sort of jump on him. Helg already losing a position to Shelley. As Shelley maybe lining up the outsides to turn 1, but Helg is going to try and edge himself back into it. Very sharp line there from JCast. And a very brave move from Capital, picking up a couple spots there. And now on the medium tire compound has a car with the hards up ahead, that being Shelley. But Shelley's pestering JCast. Some position changes in behind with Optic, dropping down into 14th place. Adel, Tonian, and Helg, two longtime drivers battling it out in Capital, getting brave again. And I'm not sure if he pushed Shelley up over the curb, but a position gained in the end as we have two Alfa Romeo sitting 2-3.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of ERS deployment going on there through Curva Grande as well. I think that was what unseated Shelley. He didn't use much at all, and it really got pounced upon by the medium runners. So that makes sense as well. Hard to fire up those hards on the opening lap. Capital putting a lot of pressure on his teammate, indeed, Silvescari. Yeah,
and speaking of the Centurion man here in Nicky, he is finding a little bit of difficulties as he's all the way back to 14th place and complete without a wing. So I don't know if maybe a little bit commentator's curse had some sort of play in that. Capital overtaking his teammate coming into the final turn, and will now step up into second place and see what he can do in trying to hunt down Cali Robb, who already has a second on him.
Yeah, Capital absolutely dumped his battery. He's gone up 6 positions, but paid 70% battery for it in 1 lap. So that might not be super sustainable by the P2 man. His teammate behind has an extra third of a battery on him. But we'll see if that lasts. It's certainly good to make 6 positions early on. VTEC's also made 5, which is the second best in that regard.
So early on, Nicky and Optic into the pit. Of course, Nicky needing a new wing. Didn't see if Optic needed one as well.
Yeah, too late to tell. Ferrari not too happy with him now. The only Ferrari in the field, I suppose he's not expecting to see that man last at this stage of the race. I think we had front runner make a bit of an error at some point. We saw yellow flags and the AlphaTauri had a drop back from the main field. But he's recovered it and appears to have a front wing, I think. Yes, seems intact.
So Capital is already completely out of ERS. He has closed that gap a little bit to Cali Robb, but Cali is sitting in a far more comfortable position here. And we'll see if JCast is going to be able to close that gap back down to his teammate. Shelley's done a good job here staying within a second to maybe catch that DRS slipstream, but he's got a lot to do in this next lap to try and hold that second throughout.
Ooh, a bit of a sideways moment there for Capital, and that will bring his teammate well within the DRS margin. And we were instructed to perhaps be a bit more introductory tonight for some of the new people watching the stream. So to explain what we mean by that, if you are within 1 second of the car in front, you are allowed to open the DRS flap on the rear wing, which increases your top speed and therefore opportunity to pass into certain points of the track. I think we've seen front runner DNF in the meantime.
Yeah, I
think
think he's DNF'd in the pits.
Yeah, so the DRS is basically a rule that's introduced to allow for easier overtaking. And we'll see that deployed now. If we look at JCast's rear wing, he's within 1 second of the car in front. And that allowed him to catch a little bit in that straight. He wasn't close enough to affect the manoeuvre. But, you know, if you're within maybe 4/10, you'll see drivers make use of that extra boost of straight line speed. The other way you can get a boost is through the battery deployment, which we were commenting on earlier. Our Capital is down at 6%. That's really not good for attacking and defending. You want to have it up at around 60% and stick it around there. Deploy, make the move, and then save it. Whereas he's sort of sticking with 0 to 10% depending on what it is. He defends to the inside though. His teammate, it's a bit of a hash at the first chicane there. And there's a massive bottle up behind him. Bobbert Yates went one side. Shelley attempted to go the other side, but sort of didn't have any room to make the move. And Bobbert has passed both of them.
Shelley was using a little bit of battery there to try and potentially get JCast back, but JCast gets the car back under control. I was on this position here last way around with Optic, and he did end up getting the overtake there through turn 5. It went a little bit deep and onto the gravel, and Nikki came back, but Optic slung it around through the first Lesmo and got that position back and is now trying to close that massive 36-second gap.
Yeah, he really needs a safety car, as does Nikki. Those two drivers are way too far back. Even if the drivers in front pit, they'll be in front of them. So, yeah, definitely need some sort of safety car assistance as they swap back. Nikki has got Optic.
Optic might have found some troubles there because he was a full second up on Nikki.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Now we can see the flashing light on the back of Capital. There's multiple reasons you can see a flashing light on the back of an F1 car, but the one we're looking at right now is out of ERS. The other reasons can be during rain as a rain light to sort of make sure people can see through spray. But in this case, he's definitely out of battery. Bobbert Yates doesn't have much more, but he is attacking with all his might and is deploying up through Curva Grande towards the second chicane. Will he make a move here? Definitely seems close enough. Gets shown the outside.
Oh.
It's a bit of contact made, but the move is complete.
And now once again, JCast finds himself just stuck in behind his teammate here. Capital really harvesting as he's been nearly out of it since the second lap. We have a nice little DRS train, and Shelley the Turtle and Helg are happy to be involved in it. The more these cars up ahead keep battling, the better it is for them. Although Bobbert Yates has done a really good job being on the hards and leading this pack, and Capital finding a little bit of oversteer and ends up cutting the final turn through Ascari and might be under a little bit of pressure here from his teammate JCast. But what are these Alfa Romeos going to do? Are they going to back out? No, they're going to go wheel to wheel around the final turn.
Yeah. Shelley looking between them. If he can put his nose there, I don't think I would do that. But he's got a lot of battery, and he's going to come flying past both of them, I imagine.
Oh, he chooses the middle and gets absolutely edged out.
They were converging.
Oh, but here comes Helg. Helg's on the inside line here, on Capital, and he's going to try and outbrake. And, very late and big contact between these drivers, and in comes Adi Daltonian, and massive crashes.
Helg's out.
Oh,
I think what happened there was the car in front of Shelley spun, Shelley backed off, and Helg just ran into him. I don't think that was Helg's fault. I don't think that was Shelley's fault either. Just supreme amounts of bad luck. Surely that's a safety car. The carcass of the Haas is strewn across the track after the Rotofilio chicane there. I'd be very surprised if we don't see Bernd Mailander put the safety car out.
And there,
But Shelley's under pressure now from Adaltonian,
and
and
there
there is
comes,
the safety
yeah.
car. Surely Shelley has rear damage, like a diffuser, a rear wing, or something like that, because he got hit very hard, enough to rip a wheel off the arse.
And I think right when the safety car came out, Capital spun. So he's only going to be able to hold on to 9th. And at one point, these Alfa Romeos were sitting 2-3 and are now sitting 9 and 11.
Yeah, and that wasn't too long ago either. Now, the other question is, do you pit here? Kelly Robb had a reasonable gap at the front. I think he's going to have no choice. Yeah. But the drivers who are on mediums coming in for hards now should make it to the end, I believe. Especially given there's going to be a few yellow flag laps here. But hard drivers staying out probably makes sense, hoping for another safety car. Otherwise, they're trapped.
Shelley's in. Houdini's in. Shelley does have wing damage. Callie Robb, like you said, Capital, Gunner, J-Cast in. The Alfa Romeo should be able to clear before J-Cast comes into pit. As well, a little bit of a tangent for the new folks here. There is only one position in the pit lane per team, so a double stack could, with both drivers coming in at the same time with the driver in behind, could be deadly for time and position. But doesn't seem to affect J-Cast at all, and he actually comes out on the softs, the first time we see it since the qualifying.
Again, going through the basic rules, we have the rule that you must run 2 different compounds, so soft, medium, hard, throughout the race. Drivers have right then chosen to make their mandatory pit stop and change to a different compound. However, it's key to note that some compounds probably won't make it to the end from here. So if you'd started on the hard, that safety car was definitely not helpful for you. So Callie Robb there is the first driver in the queue to have made a pit stop. It's legal for him to go to the end, as it is for everyone behind him. But those on mediums like Shelley, Frenchie, Nikki, and the soft runner of J-Cast are unlikely to make the end without having to make another pit stop. Although, I think it is possible for a medium, just it won't be ideal.
Yes.
We're going to have to nurse those tyres a bit, which would be detrimental to, in any fights, any battles on track.
So AE makes a late decision to come into the pit now as well.
Yeah, I think that was absolutely the right move. Probably should have done it the previous lap, but still getting off that medium. Had to make a pit stop at some point, puts on the hard. He can now get to the end legally. And the 3 at the front can't. So, see how that pans out. Also splitting the Red Bull strategies, who will both get to pit at that point.
So I just quickly went through every driver. I'm not sure if it's a glitch, but it seems like everyone's already on low fuel, or at least under fueled a little bit.
Well, I do know that the last update made a change to the fuel. I'm not still entirely sure what that was. I know that some tracks it made me run out of fuel sooner than I expected, and some I ran out later than I expected. So don't have the notes for Monza currently. However, those who I heard practicing prior to this lobby suggested that you could go around even on fuel, I think. So the safety car will help no matter what they decided to do. You'll save a lot more fuel in this lower pace. And if you still need to save later in the race, you can always not use the lower gears, back off early into braking zones, that sort of thing. That will always help.
You don't want to get Vetteled in Hungary, that's for sure.
That's true. That is very true. Now, importantly, 12th and 13th, we said earlier, needed a safety car, and they got that. They were 30 and more seconds back. Now we see that Nicky has already joined the queue, and that Ferrari of Optic is approaching the queue as we speak. Nicky did not pit. I think he should have made a second pit stop so he could get to the end. But he's not chosen to do that. He may still, because the safety car is not coming in. Let's have a look at what he decides to do in the Aston Martin team. He stays out. So, I don't know if he punctured the hard set, because you only get one set of hards for this entire event. That would make sense, because he started on hard, did he not? We can
I'll
check that.
peek
I'll
over
look.
to the race director here.
Yeah, he
Yes.
started on hards.
Yes.
Okay. So if those tyres were punctured, then he's got no hards left to work with. If they weren't, I think he probably should have gone back to them since he only had one lap to go on.
Probably too late now. Safety car should be in this lap. We're a quarter of the way, or sorry, 1/3 of the way through this race. And we'll see what these guys can do. I mean, you got to think advantage right now to Shelley. All these hards are going to be, well, I mean, at this point, like racing-wise, he's got a lot of drivers on the hards up ahead. If you can maybe try and pick these guys off pretty quick before the hards can get up to speed, it'll be very beneficial for him.
It'll also be interesting to see how much J-Cars can do with those softs. But also don't forget that Kelly Rob has a lot of pace. He's fresher tyres than the three in front of him. He'll look to clear them as soon as he can as well, to make sure he has a margin to those behind on the same strategy. So there'll be probably 3 drivers to watch there at least.
And
if not Frenchie as well, also in medium.
Very important for Capital is that he's able to get a full battery again.
Yeah, and not use it within one lap.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe he was banking on an early safety car, hence why he emptied it.
That's always a valid tactic. I don't like leaving myself open like that, but he did make a lot of positions, so fair play.
And then lost them all.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But we'll see how it goes after the restart here. Bobber Yates to lead us. VTech finds himself up in P2. Still without a pit stop yet, though. And Bobber Yates put the throttle down a little bit early here and doesn't seem to catch too many drivers off. Everyone's still within about a half a second. Nicky, I guess, may be the one who caught off, with Optic already getting the overtake there. Shelley Turtle, as specified, on the mediums, wanting to try and get something done here early, but doesn't have
Capital
anything
sends
going.
up the inside of the Redifilio. He's side by side already with Shelley and makes the move stick. He's going to get great traction there on the right. There's contact made though as he gets a bit wheel spinny.
Is Shelley going to back
side
out?
by side. You know what? Optics made 2 positions immediately, which is fantastic work. 3 positions now.
Even overtaking the soft compound.
Yeah, J-Cars didn't get a great restart there. I'm not sure exactly why. But yeah, we said Shelley was going to go forward. We said J-Cars was going to go forward. They both went backwards.
Yes. What do we know?
Kelly Rob is putting a lot of pressure on a high tower right now, but it looks like high tower is probably been deploying a bit more and yeah, pretty good top speed.
Ooh,
there.
a little deep through his Ascari there. He ruined the rest of his lines.
Kelly Rob is now right up the gearbox of the Haas and might be making a move into Alberetta. In fact, I think high tower is allowing that to happen, knows it's not really his race. Up front, VTech is putting pressure as well on Bobby Yates. There was a move in the background. I think it was somewhere near Frenchie. Frenchie's having a look at the Red Bull of Adaltonian. Optics also interested in this battle. Out of the slipstream twice goes Frenchie. He's now got the overlap.
A little shimmy shake and down the inside line and a
Really
very
late on the brakes from Adaltonian. Well done. And in fact, Optic follows the Red Bull. Great traction though from Frenchie. Keeps the position for now. Somehow they have stayed in the same order they were prior to the corner.
Yes.
Look at the run he has though on Adaltonian.
Once again.
Adaltonian, again, late on the brakes. I think you were going to say the same thing, yeah.
Yes, exactly that. But virtually the same defense as it was into turn 1. Capital now looking pretty good here on Houdini, but has got that battery once again drained to nearly 0. Already sub 20 after a lap and a half. And he's... Excuse me.
Optic almost pushing Frenchie there towards the DRS zone, but there's no DRS yet, of course. And J-Cast is going to blast through as well. Wow, Frenchie got completely caught out there. I'm not sure if he has a bit less straight line speed available to him, but certainly got overtaken by 2 cars in one swoop. And make it 3, because Nicky now is flying past.
Nicky trying to revive his race. DRS now enabled. I don't believe, no DRS down the first straight though, as the detection comes at the end of the last lap. So it does not carry over.
Pulled out of the slipstream there of Bobbert Yates, and Bobbert Yates is very low on ERS already. VTech sitting around half of his battery. So looking strong for him, but then again, Ali Robb is up behind the two of them already.
Oh, we might have a move here. Shelley's now deploying here, and he goes around the outside into the big swooping right-hander of turn 3 and gets the move completely done. Capital, no real right to try and relaunch there, and if anything, hurt his line for the next turn, and now Shelley's going to try and break away with Capital having very minimal battery to try and come back at him.
Yeah, Optic also got Adaltonian in the meantime, moving up quite nicely from the restart position he had, which was last. So fantastic actually there since the restart from Optic. He's got a challenge from behind though right now as the DRS and ERS who are being deployed by the Red Bull, but not quite enough by the time they get to Ascari.
VTech and Bobbert, you're playing a little bit of DRS chicken here. Yeah, Bobbert wanting VTech to go up and through. And then a little bit of contact between the two guys. And then, yeah, Bobbert getting caught off.
Avoided it in the background by Kelly. No, he spins.
Kelly does spin.
Terribly bad luck from Kelly Robb. An innocent bystander in that, looking good as the net leader, and gets completely bamboozled there by the spinning Bobbert Gates. I don't think that we can really assign blame to anyone. It's just really unfortunate how that panned out.
Well, yeah, it all stinted. And Capital once again going for a massive lunge that just was not there.
Was it Capital or Jake? Jcast made a move there on Adaltonian as well. So both Alfa Romeos making moves, seemingly.
Going back to that incident there, Bobbert and VTech were playing chicken going into the final turn to not get DRS. Bobbert was slowing right down and then ended up going into the side of VTech and making a little bit of contact, causing that. I mean, both those two drivers came out fine, still holding on to that lead, but of course, what has been the fastest man on the track for the first half of the race coming out on the losing end.
I actually think he avoided the collision, but because he avoided it, he went onto the gravel, or at least the dirty area of the track, and found a spin without contact. But Bobbert Yates is the first man with a 3-second penalty for warnings, and I expected more of that, to be honest, at this track.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see more as the race continues, but that is 6 seconds lead technically for VTech now. However, those three guys at the front still need to make that stop, so Houdini is now net leader.
Oh, Jcast. Yeah, Jcast losing it. And, making contact with Gunner. Gunner somehow saving it. Wow, that was very close.
Gets a 5-second penalty for saving it, by the way.
Yeah. And once again, Capital. Oh my god, every turn he's just launching it down the inside line.
You could definitely throw a tarpaulin over these guys. Like, they're so close.
Oh, they're tight.
5 of them in a row here.
Shelley might have another one here.
Having a look. He's not the only one. Wow. Optic was on the grass making that committed move around Curva Grande. And spins it on the brakes. Well caught, to be fair. I think he was completely out of control, locked up, trying to avoid cars, and did well to do so.
Somehow avoids the front wing damage.
Into 7th place, though. Yeah, that was actually a really good car control. I think he braked later than he should have, but after that initial mistake, incredibly well controlled to not book anyone.
Yellow for Frenchie. Frenchie's around at the second Lesmo.
Frenchie at Lesmo too.
Shelley's bought his time pretty well here, even after that getting overtaken early by Capital. It didn't let that phase him too much, and he's making these mediums.
He needed to make those moves on the mediums to make that strategy work, and he's now in the net lead because, of course, he passed Houdini in that sequence, who was our net leader. Houdini's still looking very strong, though, I would say. Stick in behind, wait for the mediums to go off, and then make your pass.
There's a potential to have Hightower here. Did deploy a little bit of ERS, has the inside line, and is going to launch it down. Locks up a little bit there. Has to go around the outside through turn 2. In behind there is Houdini, and Houdini's looking to try and get a position 2 with Hightower's line going off kilter a little bit there. And he's going to try and swoop at the inside line. And, these two are very close. Didn't get a good camera angle there. And it looks like Houdini's going to get the position in the end. Hightower on these 14-lap old hards. Maybe just being out-tired a little bit there.
I think responsible driving there from Hightower. Didn't need to do anything crazy there. And Houdini also did the right thing by trying to stay with Shelley, knowing that if he falls outside of DRS, it might be difficult to stay with the Aston Martin driver. Ali Robb also comes through now, so...
I was about to say, when did he get back up into 5th?
But I mean, he's still well within the race here. He's technically on the podium net as we speak, and I wouldn't put it past him to overtake the 2 drivers in front of him and be back in the race lead pretty soon.
Yeah, well, he's got
Behind,
one.
there's 3 wide. There was almost a big collision between Capital
yes.
and Optic. Into the pits for VTEC. Race leader there, giving up the lead. Probably going to go to mediums, I would guess.
Optic, is just getting the slipstream here on Hightower, and that's going to help him get past Capital. And we'll see. Get on board with Capital. Oh, he's actually not going to. Optic puts his car right in the middle of the track and doesn't even allow any sort of attempt there from Capital.
He's going to have a go here at Hightower as well. He got supreme traction out of the Redifilio there. J-Cast with a 3-second penalty is going to hurt him if he's in a battle towards the end, but he's already well behind the pack. Into the De La Rocha chicane, and it's side by side. Well executed there. Capital comes out of nowhere to make it a 3-car battle, and there's contact in Lesmo 1. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Optic maybe came across the front. Either way, they're all still facing the correct direction and can continue the battle. Hightower's going to be under pressure here because the DRS is going to be definitely in Optic's favour towards Ascari.
He's not opted to deploy though.
All of this time is allowing the drivers in front of this pack to escape, which won't be putting a smile on Optic's face, that's for sure.
No. And you can see the blinking light of Hightower up ahead, harvesting battery, getting right in behind, and he's going to have the DRS coming to the final turn. Hightower, he's got to have some sort of impressive launch here. Bobber Yates will come into the pit, surely go onto the mediums to ride these things out to the end. Shelly the Turtle vaults up into the lead. And we got Optic now wanting to actually do the outside line. Hightower was not having it. And very late on the brakes was Optic to try and counter this move. And he will swing around the outside line, having the inside, and once again, Capital trying to follow suit. Hightower not giving up here on Optic. It looks like Optic's just going to be able to get it in the end. Hightower swinging to the outside line, Capital sitting in behind. And Capital braking very late and pushing Hightower a little bit the way through, and then a little bit of contact between these two guys. And Hightower edging him out in the end, holding on to 5th place, but that allows Optic to already break a second off from Hightower.
That was all that contact upsetting the rear of Hightower's car, and that's key for Optic to not have to worry about those guys behind. He can set off after the pack.
Oh, A. Daltonian comes out of nowhere and gets the overtake on Capital. Sorry to cut you off there. And then Capital...
Yeah, that's a great VTEC already making a move on Frenchie there, as he's in 10th place, 1 lap old mediums. Up to the front, we might see a DRS move here for either first or second. It's a very close quarters combat between Shelley Houdini and Callie Robb. Already out of the slipstream comes the Mercedes driver. Takes the lead. Callie Robb's going to have a look potentially here. No, he backs out. Responsible driving from the AlphaTauri man. Knows he's got the pace and will have opportunities at some stage. VTEC now with the fastest lap. Worth a point at this stage. Nicky now into the pits. Goes for his second medium stint. Definitely needs to take a car once again to get back into the race for a second time.
Capital braking very deep there, trying to close as much of a gap as he can on A.E. Daltonian. As now A.E. is just in behind Hightower. We'll see if Capital is going to be able to regain this position back on A.E. where A.E. took it from him last time.
4 tenths go to the top 3, and side by side into Ascari. Shelley on the inside, cuts the corner a little bit, and Houdini gives him the space. Sideways moving for Shelley though, and he catches it, but he will lose out to Optic, who has caught this group massively since he got past Hightower, and is now definitely in the battle for the lead. Callie Robb takes the lead as we say that. I don't know if Houdini did that on purpose to get the DRS.
Not sure if it's going to benefit enough to re-overtake into turn 1. VTEC taking another position. Optic actually setting the fastest lap on 12 lap Old Hards. Shelley calls it quits there and he's into the pit.
Okay, so he probably wasn't going to make it towards the end. J-Cast has spun it at Lesmo 2. Struggling to recover as Bobbert Yates now sets the fastest lap.
And A. Daltonian up into 4th place.
That's really come out of nowhere. He swooped past like 2 or 3 cars in recent time, and then there was putting Shelley, of course. Hightower still putting pressure on A. Daltonian, but Hightower also needs to pit. He's the last driver yet to make a pit stop.
Yeah, still going strong on these tires that he started with, even after the restart. Sticking to his strategy, as it seems.
Crazy to think that, 10 laps ago, Callie Roberts had an issue and spun out in the corner we're approaching now. Now leads the race again. Optic was 30 plus seconds back of the main pack in last place early on as well. Now he's in a podium position, even in the fight. He'd say for 2nd place.
Yeah, and A. Daltonian, one big mistake from the group up ahead could push him into the podium as well. And I don't think this front trio here between Callie Robb, Houdini, and Optic are done battling as well. We'll see if Houdini and Optic can keep pace with Callie Robb. And a little bit of oversteer there from Optic getting up on the curb. Frenchie and Bobbert Yates, actually that's Frenchie into the pit. Oh, Capital finding a little bit of difficulties, and he completely loses the time from Hightower and A. Daltonian.
Frenchie's gone for soft tyres. This might be a push for the fastest lap point.
And very important, Callie Robb has broken off from DRS to from Optic and Houdini. That makes Houdini's...
Not only will that help Callie Robb, but yeah, Houdini's going to find it difficult to defend.
Oh, what happened to Optic?
Who walls himself.
Oh my, something must have happened.
He opened the DRS exactly at the same time as he made a slight change to his steering angle, and he just lost it immediately. That was so unfortunate, but a safety car has been deployed. This will bring everyone back into the race, including Jay Cast, for example. If he makes a pit stop, I don't know if I'd have done that. If someone stays out here, he might find himself a lap down. It's a risk, but if they do pit, they'll be mitigated in that. What does Callie Robb do? He pits. Alright, what do the drivers behind do? If someone stays out, they could find themselves vaulting up the order here.
If there's anyone, it's going to be VTEC. Oh, what happened with Capital?
Absolutely, yeah. Capital has had an issue there at Alvaredo. Oh, VTEC stays out. Yeah, this is massive. So he'll be in the lead, for sure, but we'll have the worst tyres of the lot. Speeding into the pits for Capital. So it still looks good for Callie Robb, but he does have some work to do. Although Bobbert Yates now makes that more difficult for him as he overtakes him. Yet to pit, did not pit. These tyres are actually 1 lap younger than VTEC's. VTEC does not have a penalty to deal with, whereas Bobbert Yates does. That's going to really hurt him now in this scenario. Yeah,
unfortunate timing for Shelley there. He was only out for 2 laps on those mediums before that safety car and having to come into pit.
I don't think he should have pit. Unless he had damage. The softs are not worth, 4 positions of track position. It's just you need to stay up front.
So we'll see. We got quite a margin for JCast to try and close.
The driver who that worked out massively well for was Hightower. He needed to make another pit stop, and he got to stay in track position. Would be 4th in that group, but those 2 mediums just come out. So 6th currently. Looking good for him to be a top 5 contender though, because there's penalties around him. Could benefit. Fastest lap currently sits with Bobbert Yates at 22.7, but I expect one of the soft runners to beat that by the end of the race. Penalties are 3 seconds for Bobbert Yates, 5 seconds for Capital, and 3 seconds for Jay Curtis. Position change up 14 places. Last to first challenge has been initiated by VTEC. Can he see it out though? There's going to be, this is the end of lap 21, so there's 6 laps to go. Maybe 5 of them, or maybe even 4 under green flag conditions. So if he can hold out for those few laps remaining, what a race that would be from 15th last to first.
Yeah, but
However, he's not eligible for the hardest charge.
Exactly,
so that would be currently sitting at Houdini because Hightower also didn't set a lap time in qualifying.
Exactly that. Yeah, I was just bringing that up as well.
I mean, it's still a fantastic drive.
Oh yeah.
Even if you don't get a point for it, but wow, typical VTEC godliness.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly why he's deemed as the GOAT by many of the drivers here in the league. Some say it's as troll, but I mean, like, the proof is in the pudding.
There are merits to it because you can avoid the carnage, but not only that, you have so many options for tyres. Because if he just doesn't use all those softs in qualifying, all at his disposal.
Yeah.
He might even have 2 sets of medium. Like, could make a huge difference when there's multiple safety cars.
Oh god, it's so funny how we just wind up in these positions with him. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And Robert Yates is not gonna let that overtake from Cali Rob happen easily.
Well, that will be the most important thing for VTEC. Can Robert Yates hold off Cali Rob? And if so, can VTEC make a margin in that time? Could be super important.
He has shown some proper pace too. Like he was making plenty of overtakes there as well. So he does have it here. But a difficult task it is. And we're going to go around the lap one more time with JCast closing up to everyone here. So we'll go back to racing lap 24.
Half of the remaining laps on the green are going to be with DRS, which is even more helpful for those drivers who want to defend their position.
And Frenchie comes into the pit.
Yeah, may have picked up some damage there from the safety car, so if possible, we'll have a look for the front wing.
And I think to even take that thought further, the long DRS straight, which is the main area to overtake on track coming into turn 1, is only actually used once. Because the first lap DRS is enabled, that straight is not being able to use because the detection comes in the lap prior.
That's true, yeah. So there's going to be 1 run to turn 1 with DRS and 2 runs to Ascari with DRS. So if VTEC can use his battery strategically, this is definitely possible for him to stay in the lead.
Yes.
I know it looks difficult to hold off soft charges, but especially with 1 layer of defense in Robert Yates, this is possible. I tell you, if Cali Rob wins this race and it says first from pole, you'd think it would be a simple race, but it's been anything but for him.
Yes, yeah, very true.
It's been really the hard way around for the AlphaTauri man.
Yeah. He is, he's putting some absolute work. Oh my goodness, yeah. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, as predicted, safety car is in this lap. We'll have 4 full laps to go and a lot of entertaining stuff here to take place. And then we got to remember Capital, full battery. That's going to be gone by the end of this lap.
You're absolutely right about that.
Similar to a race day, the Alfa Romeo Division 1 and Division 2 drivers are fairly similar in that aspect.
That's a good pickup there. I wonder if they went to the same school of driving.
Yes. Now, I'm still seeing everyone with the red and VTEC with a very early. Oh, my. See, I love that. Why don't people do that more? That is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Already has a second.
Make this move.
Oh my God, he's the GOAT.
If he can't make this move, it's going to be curtains. Oh, we've had a problem for J-Cast. Under traction there, could not get the car going, it seems. And also Frenchie sort of fell off the back of the pack as well. So yeah, VTEC has made an absolutely perfect restart there. 1.25 seconds already in the lead. Robert Yates will be kicking himself there. And Kelly Rob will be kicking Robert Yates.
Well, he's got to overtake him first. But man, that's what I've been saying. That is what I've been saying. Just send it. Oh, beautiful stuff. And he's already increased that lead a little bit too. Robert Yates struggling here. And we'll see if Kelly Rob...
my 1, but there's no way to make a move there. And Kelly Rob's now going to be deploying. In fact, Robert Yates is as well, and he's used half his battery already in half a lap. Kelly Rob's being more cautious with preserving it, but he needs to make the move, otherwise there's not going to be enough time to catch VTEC.
Robert does hit Ascari really well, so I was thinking of potentially something into Parabolica, but does not look like it's going to happen here for Cali Rob. And VTEC already with still holding that 2.25 lead to Bobbert Yates. And Cali Robb already deploying on the exit here, showing that he needs to get this overtake done. And then
as well by VTech.
Oh my God!
I expect that to be beaten, but he is really going for it right now. And there's a flashing light already for Bobbert Yates. It's going to be hard to defend from this time onwards. This time next lap, I'm going to expect to see Cali Robb in front of him, but if he can make it happen before that, that'll be even more impressive and helpful in the venture of catching up to the leader, who still is hovering around that 1.2 second margin in the lead. Have a look at VTech's battery. He's dumped a lot of it as well, sitting around a third. So might be vulnerable if he's caught. There's always that. Cali Robb has been frugal with it, 70% on his battery right there. So I mean, he's playing it smart. It's just a question of if he has enough time. And he's close enough to make the move here into Ascari. I think he's going to do it. Which side does he pick? The right-hand side, the outside for the corner coming up, but he's going to have his nose in front, well in front, in fact.
Yeah.
And Bobbert will be well to just try and stay with him and increase his gap over the cars behind in case he can get some positions. He's got a penalty to overcome, remember.
So DRS, as stated before, will be enabled at the start of this next lap, but they will not have it coming into turn 1.
And Ali will be happy about that because he wouldn't want to be re-overtaken there and scuppering his opportunity to catch up. He's already made a few tenths here, and there is the fastest lap for the man on the charge. The gap is still 1.2 roughly, but that's going to come down. It was as high as 1.4, I think. 2 laps remain. Half of the challenge since the safety car come in has been completed by VTech. This could be a last lap move. It really looks like it's shaping up that way.
Yeah, no, 100%. Cali Robb has had a really good turn 1 and 2 and has brought himself within DRS now to VTech. Does have those quicker tires. VTech opted not to pit and took track position. Currently leading here and having about 3/4 of a second of leeway here to Cali Robb. But Cali Robb is just munching at that time with every turn.
I've got to say, even if VTech comes second here, that was the correct call because he gained positions out of it either way.
100%.
And well, here is that first DRS deployment for Cali Robb. He's not going to be close enough to make the move here, but it will set him up for the next one. And he's got more battery to play with. I don't know how you defend this if you're VTech.
Yeah, and Cali's already deploying. No, he opted out here. But right when he hits the apex of the final turn, he's going to start deploying as he did with Bobbert.
This is where you expect to see the move. In the next few hundred meters is going to be where the move comes, if it comes at all. DRS is going to be open right now. DRS has already been deployed by both of them. He's actually not catching as much as I thought he would.
Well, he wasn't deploying at all. He was not deploying ERS. Maybe trying to line something up in here to Ascari. Maybe trying to bait VTech. True as well. Very true. Bobbert Yates overtaken.
To make this move. Yeah, Bobbert falling off the podium. Houdini, he's made it back to the podium, so congratulations to him. That looks fairly well sewn up with the car behind on a penalty. And he might be looking to catch any scraps here if there's any shenanigans between the front two.
Yeah.
VTech with Honda power first and second, you might want that to be the case. But here comes the final opportunity. Well, maybe second final.
Yeah.
There's DRS here. This is close. I don't think he can defend this.
No.
It's the inside as well for Cali Robb. That's going to be very difficult to do anything about if you're VTech. And in fact misses the apex. That's going to be race over. Cali Robb is going to have a big enough lead no matter what happens unless he spins. But there's no pressure on him really. Still a last lap pass. Always exciting to see. And probably the deserving winner, to be fair to him. Not a dominant race, but the pace was always there for him. And he wins the race. 6 different winners in the first 6 races of the season. Hightower's been overtaken there in the final run to the line.
He's actually been spun.
2 positions.
Oh, and Hightower's having troubles trying to get this thing back going straight.
Oh, desperately bad luck, a last lap incident there.
Terrible.
Shelley made 2 positions out of that, though, I think. I think Aston Martin made a whole heap of positions in that last sequence.
And Hightower,
good shout out there
unfortunately.
to VTech. What a strategy call it was for him to put himself in that position. And Houdini also on the podium with a good showing there for Mercedes.
Yeah, very well done by the podium. A well-deserved podium if I've ever seen one.
Unsurprisingly, drivers of the day honours go from the game to the man who went 15th to second. But that won't be worth a point, once again, because there was no qualifying time set by VTEC. So we'll have to quick check on who that was, because it can't have been Optic, Hightower, or VTEC. So whoever gained the most positions out of everyone else will receive an extra point. The other point, of course, goes to Kelly Robb as well for fastest lap at 21.7. So it looks like Houdini will get the hardest charger with a 10th to 3rd effort there. 7 places gained. Most of everyone. And there's Gunner as well with 4 positions gained, 12th to 8th. Need to find out what happened in Division 1 though to know who's the championship leader, because Scuba Steve did reserve upwards. 2nd place coming into this round in the standings. And running down the order, we had Kelly Robb, VTEC, Houdini, the podium as we mentioned. Then it was Adel Tonian with a pretty good drive as well there in 4th place. Bobbert Yates fell down with that penalty, 1 position to 5th. Shelley and Nicky gained right at the death there to put Aston Martin 6th and 7th. Gunner 8th, Frenchie 9th, Capital rounding out the top 10 despite a very fighting effort throughout that Grand Prix. Hightower 11th, had been running in the top 10 for much of the last portion of the race, but something happened at the death to him. J-Cast, last finisher there in 12th. And the retirements were Optic Helg and Frontman.
Okay. So I've sent out the invites to have the drivers in for the interview. Where is Bob? This is racism.
So Optic actually mentioning that it might have been a wheel malfunction on his DNF there.
Oh no, 100%. Yeah, it came out of nowhere. Like,
I thought it might have been a DRS snap, but
no,
that does make more sense. A wheel failure.
Yeah, he just
very unfortunate.
It just looked like it just kicked straight to the left and then just threw him into the wall.
Yeah, Tifosi won't be too happy with that. But in terms of an exciting race to watch, I think they were certainly satisfied by this 27 laps at Monza.
Oh, damn. Okay, this is probably the quickest that people have ever gone in for the interviews. Okay, 1 second. I'm not even ready. All right, let me just edit this up here. Kelly Robb, VTEC, Houdini, and Nicky. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get these guys going. I like this. This is nice. This is a good change. Usually we have to wait 10 minutes.
Yeah, they were organised. You got to appreciate that.
Yeah, I will. Be sure, 100%. Awesome. Okay. First of all, thank you very much for coming in for the interviews, like, instantly. Like, beautiful stuff. Like, saves a little bit of my evening, and I appreciate that. And it saves a little bit of Jacko's afternoon, and he appreciates that as well.
That's right.
But we'll start with Kelly Robb. Nicky, we'll get to you last. Saves the best for last there, my guy. Kelly Robb. Now, Jacko made a brilliant point there. I mean, just looking at the beginning to the end, starting first, finishing first, but that was not the story of your race, man. I mean, we'll start with qualifying, actually. So, I mean, was that about, like, as good of a qualifying performance you could put in, or did you maybe miss a little bit of time there? As well as you're muted if you don't know. As well as you're not here. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully he'll unmute himself. 'Cause that'd be great. But I mean, maybe they're not even ready for us to be so ready so quickly. I mean, it could go both ways. So anywho, Jacko, what's your plan after this?
I didn't really have a plan.
No, nothing on nothing on the agenda. Gonna go get lunch or something.
Yeah, I think I might have a bite to eat.
Yeah, a little homemade stuff, or are you gonna go treat yourself? Homemade stuff. You know what?
Do we have some technical difficulties going on out here, I wonder?
Callie, can you hear us?
there?
Second. Callie, is your mic working in here? Callie.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. 1 second. Let me try dragging you over there. Callie, does it work now? Callie.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, it works. Okay. I just like to do in this one so people can't just randomly join when they please, because people love to do that. But all right, did you hear my question when I first asked it there?
I did not.
Oh, and Jacko, going back to what I was going to say, a nice cheap lunch on a budget, tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches hits hard every day.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that was to Jacko. But okay, so we'll start with qualifying, man. Was that about as good of a qualifying that you can put in, or do you feel like maybe you left a couple tenths of seconds out there?
I have no idea. I went out for practice basically for the first few laps, and that was basically it. And then the last run somehow only found a tenth on new tires and low fuel. So I figured I should have been able to go faster, but I don't know.
I mean,
It
still
was good enough.
Yeah, exactly. Still pole position in the end. Are you full time in Division 2, or are you reserving for someone?
Full time now.
Okay, so did you come up from Division 3 then?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was placed somewhere, and then I don't know. Just ended up here.
Okay, fair enough. So after this win, you're going to close the gap quite nicely, depending on how the other drivers ahead did. VTech having a really good race, finishing just behind you. With a solid performance, you're sitting over 100 points back. Do you feel like you have the pace for Division 1, and do you think the promotion is achievable by the end of the season?
We'll see. I had some bad luck early to start here. Kind of just didn't really care too much early on, but I don't know. Focusing a bit more and getting faster.
Yeah, true enough. Jack, I'll let you get into the questions about the race.
All right. So we saw a fairly dominant pace in qualifying, and then there was potential to sort of escape the field in the race, but two safety cars really sort of hampered that and put you in compromising positions because not everyone pitted. So talk us through that moment at Parabolica/Alboreto where it looked like you avoided a collision between the front two, but then maybe got a bit of gravel and spun. Is that what happened there?
Yeah, so I guess I started out thinking this would be a fairly straightforward race, but never is. Leading for a few, and then I guess that was after the first safety car, yeah?
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes, I don't know. Just figured after that, just head down, see what I can do. And another safety car kind of helped, but I think ultimately I had the pace to get up there anyway.
And pacing yourself with the ERS compared to the competitors around you was key, I think, in making those two moves at the end. Was that how you saw that? Yeah, I thought so.
I guess in the beginning it was just about building a gap and then saving battery. Then towards the end, I kind of, Bobbert kind of maybe a bit upset, you could say. Blew his battery in the first 2 laps. Didn't get by for a bit, but I figured it would come back at the end with the battery differential.
Absolutely. Well played by you. And despite it saying pole and victory, it was certainly more complex than that. So well done.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No problem. Appreciate stopping in for your interview. Always appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay.
See you guys.
Yeah, have a good one. Okay, VTech. You unmute your mic? You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, man. So I'm going to give you some absolute massive praise for the way that you handled that safety car restart. I mean, how often have you had the opportunity to lead the pack on a safety car restart?
Never.
Never. So that was your first time?
Well, in this league, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
what made you want to just kind of like, was that always your goal? Is that always your plan when you're doing a safety car restart? Is just to kind of gun it early and try and catch them off?
I was trying to get away because I know I'm not that pace like Caliro. Caliro is amazing driver. You know, he got good pace, and I was just trying to get a much advantage as
Mhm.
everybody else. So I just went straight for it, send it. You know, I did. I tried. I should have pit it, but I thought I could just stay in there for just around 3 laps. So
No, you not coming in, as Jacko pointed out, was definitely the right move in the end. I don't believe you would have finished anywhere near second if you ended up hitting. It was the smartest strategy that you could have done, and a well-deserved podium. But
yeah.
so with all the chaos that was happening up ahead of you after the restart, or after the initial start of the race there, was it difficult to try and even just get your car through the carnage there, because you picked up quite a positions before the end of lap 1?
Yes. I was just trying to take it easy on the first lap,
Mm-hmm.
warm my tires, because since I started on the hardest, you know, they're not really good grippy on this track, and so I was just communicating with some of the guys that I race with in here, and try to keep it clean and just evade chaos.
Yeah, no, true enough. That's exactly what you did today,
Yeah.
and another
There
podium.
was some places that I almost, you know, like, oh, there goes my race.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you
And
got it.
not.
You got it done in the end. I'll let Jacko go ahead here though.
Yeah, what a fantastic drive. Certainly, from my perspective, I would give you the drive of the day. There, VTEC, 15th to second place, and so close. But I was wondering, I asked a similar question to Kelly there. What was your thought? What were your thoughts around deploying the battery? Because that was really the only way you could defend with DRS on that last lap. And
For
I think you
my
had a bit less, yeah.
for my lack of space compared to Kali on first softs, and again, you know, there's some Division One drivers here, so uh, I was just trying to get a gap. That's all. I was just trying to pull away, but that's why on the couple of laps, I saved a little bit of ERS, not enough, but I saved a little bit, but still it wasn't. And when Kali overtook me on the chicane, my car just went straight. Like I pressed the brake and everything. I just touched the curb and I almost DNF on the last turn on that chicane. So yeah.
Well, I think you did everyone proud there with that strategy call. It was definitely correct to stay out, because you wouldn't have probably been in the running for second at that point. So well done, and you made that really exciting for everyone involved, I think. So great try.
Thank you.
Yes, very well done in the end there, VTEC. Appreciate you coming in for the interview as well. Okay, Houdini. You always kind of find your way up into these interviews whenever we come down to Division 2. I mean, I think this is like your third or fourth time having you here, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoy it. I told VTEC right after the race, like, hey, we got some interviews to do, and it always means it's a good day.
Yeah, no, true enough. I mean, hey, maybe Jacko and I are maybe your lucky charms there then, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you had a pretty exciting race too. I mean, it was just chaos and excitement and thrills all around. But why don't you tell me a little bit about that final restart there for you to get yourself up into third?
Yeah. So the final restart, VTEC started earlier than I thought he was going to. So I didn't get like a great jump or anything, but I knew that based on the people behind me, how I'll use the battery and that kind of strategy stuff, I knew that I had the pace to at least stay where I was. And I knew that second place Bobbert had that 3-second penalty. So my thought was, I think I can definitely, with these tires, stay, in position and get it. I didn't have to pass him, but I also didn't know how he got that 3 seconds. So if it was something that he could report to the stewards, I knew that I wanted to get past him to make sure that he couldn't have a report and then that get taken away. Yes. So it was one of those, like, smartly using the ERS to make sure that I definitively got past him. So I knew that the front straight was where I wanted to pass him. And, thankfully, made that happen. But it was it was definitely a little bit stressful. Like, I knew that I had the pace for the podium based on strategy, not based on quality pace, because my quality pace wasn't great at all. But I knew that my race pace was good, and I avoided several accidents where I was just like, I don't know how I made that through it, but we made it happen. So I mean, it was quite thrilling, and I just knew, like, especially the last 10 laps, I was like, try to stay in the zone and just, maximum pace. I was focused on me. I wasn't really focused on anything ahead or behind.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, that's a good strategy put forward there. Got you another podium in the end. That'll see you move up a little bit in the point standings here. I don't think Matt Rosie is here this evening or in any of the races, so you should vault up a couple spots there, getting yourself closer to potential promotion to Division 1. I mean, won't you just tell me about how much this the Division 2 has just improved since you've been in here for the couple seasons that you have?
Yeah, so I've been here a couple seasons. I'll say this, to speak so highly of Division 2 and of 1 and all of the divisions, because there's very fast guys in all of them. I've been in D2 for a while here, and every year it gets faster. This is my first podium in D2, and I won D4 and D3 before that.
Yeah.
So the amount of talent that's going up, and no system can be perfect. I think MidWest does it really well with, they tried to, hey, this guy, won Division 5 by 30 seconds. Hey, he shouldn't be there every week, right?
Yeah.
So they do a good job. It's never going to be perfect. But, those divisions have been getting faster and faster and faster. So, I know that I'm not going to be there on quality pace. I'm just glad that today, smart decisions, good strategy, and solid, consistent race pace, paid off for me there. So, plenty happy to get those points again. When I knew that when we pitted under safety car, I was P2. And I was like, I may not be able to keep P2 here based on pit stops and other people, possibly staying out. But I knew that a podium was definitely possible. And I was like, all right, I'm going to keep it consistent and, and push for it. So, really happy with the result. I hope the next one is a lot closer than what it took to get here, but definitely happy with the result.
Yeah, very well said. It's a very good race to end 2022 on. But Jacko, anything left for you to say, or did Houdini pretty much answer everything there?
Yeah, Houdini, great analysis of his own race there.
Yeah,
just
no,
immediately.
for sure. We didn't even need
I really
questions.
I like to see drivers with that thinking mentality during the race to know, oh, maybe I should pass this guy in case he can overturn that penalty in the stewards. So, yeah, that's really encouraging to hear that, drivers do have that sort of, mental capacity, even while racing at such a risky track to be thinking about that sort of stuff. So, well done on that. And what I can't believe is what you just said is your first podium only in Division 2. I thought you'd had way more than that. So, I expect more in the future, Houdini. And given that you've rounded out 2022 so well, is that what you expect come next year, or what are your expectations of yourself in the next calendar year?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, great to hear those positives, and I'm happy to say them all while the times are good. I'll say this: I don't have a certain goal for, like get to Division 1 or do these other things. I don't really think about that. I think about doing the best that I can in that calendar year. And I think my best finish was the second season that I was in D2. I think this is my third or fourth, but the first season that I was in D2, I think I was like 6th or 7th finishing result. So I want to be better than that. I don't think I'll be top 3. A lot of these guys have a crazy good pace. I don't expect that, but I would love to be, P4, P5, P6, somewhere up there. And we'll see where that goes. It's very it can be track dependent, but I'm going to be as, consistent as I can and just, keep pushing that as far as we can go. And again, being smart like that, a lot of my, philosophy and thoughts go back to Fernando Alonso. And if you remember back to Russia a few years ago, he in the practice lap, the formation lap, or not formation lap, to the grid lap, he practiced his, hey, I'm going to go off the track here and do this thing. And it's just playing as smart as you can, knowing what's going on around you is that smart thing. So, I definitely try to do that as much as I can.
Oh, Yeah, it's music to my ears. That's
I
how
was
I
about
like
to say, you
That's
just-
how I like to do it. Well, Houdini, I look forward to watching the next Division 2 race that we get to watch, and hope to talk to you again, because this has been an absolute blast. So well done on that podium.
Yeah, and cheers to you guys for doing the comms, and looking forward to rewatching it and hearing you guys' takes as it goes live.
Perfect. Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yep, have a good one, guys.
Cheers. I was about to say, like, that's what Houdini said there about Fernando Alonso. That's probably the closest thing to ASMR that Jacko has.
I mean, it's just also just so similar to how I race. So it's nice to see people having the same approach.
True enough. But okay, here we go. On to one of the long-time guys here, Nicky64. The big 100 races raced here in the Midwest F1 League. How crazy does that sound, knowing that so long ago you joined up on this little shindig that was started by a couple of
Who would
guys
have thought?
from Dakota?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it? I wouldn't have
Who
thunk
would
it.
have thought it?
I thought I'd
I
be
mean-
off doing better things by now, but hey, whatever. No, fair
You
enough.
know, all the way back, F1 2020, Vietnam was
Yeah.
the first race I raced
Oh,
in Midwest.
I think that was the second. I think that was the second race of the
It was
league.
the second race, yeah.
Yeah.
I was working on the night of the first race.
Oh.
So I my first race was Vietnam. My biggest memory from that is it was Pork Chops trying to drive backwards into the pit and getting disqualified. But man,
This league's come a long way, eh?
this league has come a long way. From,
That's
you know,
so
from
good.
the days of Tim Lee spinning on the pit straight at Brazil and taking out Brian Musser and all the crazy.
When
crazy stuff
Stat
that
and I
happened.
broke into like a crying laughter from it.
Oh, jeez. All
That
the
was-
crazy stuff that's
That was
happened.
still so funny.
2.5 years now. But we're gonna just keep her rolling. Just keep her rolling.
Yeah, I saw all those interviews. Now, pardon my ignorance. I don't know too much about your personal life, but all those interviews with Hannah, your manager.
Oh,
Oh.
you know, lots of things happening there too.
Yes. Okay. We'll leave it at that.
Well, you know, we're getting married eventually at some point. here now,
Oh,
you
okay.
know.
So you guys are still
Engaged.
together. Oh, okay.
Yep,
Oh,
engaged.
that's good. Oh, what the
You
fuck?
know.
When did that happen?
Oh, it's a couple of months ago now.
Have we,
We're bigger news yet. We're expecting coming up
Oh.
here. So
Jacko? You never told me this.
Plus,
My
it's
news
not
to tell. Nicky's news to tell.
So we're hearing it exclusive first time to the public of Midwest.
Oh, well, big
On the
congratulations to
stream,
you.
on the stream.
Damn.
So
Just imagine in half a year, a little crash is going to be running around. And thanks for naming your kid after me, by the way. That's really nice.
Yep. Right. In a couple of years, in a couple of years, D6 will have a new driver.
Ah, there you go. Nice. Good stuff. Wow. Well, that's amazing news. Congratulations to you guys.
Yeah, you know, and it's crazy, you know.
So when's the wedding? When's that happening?
Oh, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, not on the cards right now.
Yeah, you know.
Does your manager have any
Which way everything
food
is.
cravings right now?
Oh, you know. I'll probably go upstairs and come right back down to get something. So.
Oh, nothing that's like number one. Not like a chocolate bar or certain.
Oh no. Just a little bit of everything.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Oh God. Well, that's screw the race. Well, congratulations. That's amazing news, dude.
Hey, you know.
I guess yeah.
The race went like any race has gone for me in Midwest lately. I get a terrible start. I fall back in the middle of the pack, and then I fight my way back up into the top 10. That's how it works every week. this week was no different. A lot of floor damage, which around Monza isn't super fun, but it's to be expected.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Well, you can blame it on Jacko because he called for you to get the win tonight. So that's commentator's curse right there.
it's coming. It'll happen eventually,
Yeah.
right? If we raced at Japan every single week, it probably would have happened by now.
Oh, that's history.
But you know, it'll come. It'll come.
Oh goodness. Okay, well, Jacko, what do you have to say? Sorry, I've been just talking to Nikki here.
Well, I think we need to hear maybe our top 3 memories from this past 100 races.
Yes.
I know you've mentioned the Vietnam Open and maybe Japan, but is there anything else you want to add to that list?
Season 2, my first top 5 was at Monaco, and that was a pure luck top 5. I was back of the top 10. We got a safety car really, really late into the race, and I didn't have any penalties, and everybody in front of me had penalties. So I hung on there. That was a great memory. My first podium in any league racing was in Portimao. I guess it was last year. Oh, what season was it? I was in McLaren at the time. You know, great memory there. You know, just all the people we've met, all the people I've, you know, all the interesting stuff I've gotten to do.
There's some decent people here.
Who would have, you know, I've been stewarding for almost a year now.
Big thanks to you for that as well.
Oh, it's not too bad. You know, you get to laugh at people's mistakes a couple of times. Oh, geez, you know, just a lot of memories, a lot of great stuff, and it just keeps getting better. Honestly, the racing just keeps getting more and more interesting.
And you switched over to a wheel now, haven't you?
Yeah. So in F1 2020, I was on pad, and then for 21 and 22, I've been on wheel. And that was a big adjustment. I had a pretty rough season that first season.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
But now that I've been doing it for a while, we're pretty well adjusted.
That's good.
We've had the old trusty G29 now for almost 2 years at this point, just about 2 years. So, and she's still kicking just fine. She does what she needs to do.
Yeah, and it's an easy cop out if you make a mistake. God,
Yep,
if
yep.
I had the $500 wheel, this would have never happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me a Fanatec DD and I'll be perfectly fine. You know,
Yeah.
I'll be D1 pace again.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, all right. Well, I mean, yeah, thank you for coming in, man. I really appreciate it. And once
Of
again,
course, of
congratulations
course.
to everything and best of luck with all your endeavors in the
Yep.
future.
And any
See you
chance
again at
that I
number
get
200.
sprayed. Yep. Any
Yeah,
chance I get
good
sprayed
point.
Midwest.
Yes.
Any chance.
Beautiful.
Great group of people, and so glad to be a foundational member of it. And you know, as long as I'm here, there will be Midwest racing.
Yes.
You know, if it's me and 2 other guys in the lobby, there'll be Midwest racing on Thursday nights.
Just be you, Pork, and Helg.
Yep.
And Jacko
that's
and I
all we need.
casting.
That's all we need.
Oh, I feel like Jacko would have ditched, but that's okay. Just play. Yeah, thank you very much, Nicky. Congratulations again.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can hang around here, but I think we're just going to close on the stream here. Unless
Oh, sure, why not?
Yeah. Anything from you, Jacko?
I think I've said everything that came to mind.
Yeah, nothing. You going to try the tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwich for lunch?
Not sure I have all the ingredients to hand, so maybe another time.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Well, I mean, a little bit of a heartstrings were pulled here to finish off the the stream and the last stream of 2022. I'm assuming so. Hopefully everyone did enjoy it, and if you do enjoy it, be sure to go check out our social media as follows: Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, go check out the Twitch. And if you're on YouTube, you suck. But hopefully you enjoyed this stream, and hopefully you enjoy our sponsors as well. SimRacer Coin, EPOS Gaming, and Raise Energy are all there for your convenience if you're curious on all of them. Just search up or just hit ! Raise or EPOS in chat. You'll get a direct link to those stores where you can use 15% off your order with MWF1. Next week is Helg's 100th Grand Prix. God damn. Okay, so a lot is happening here in the Midwest F1 League, but we thank everyone that does tune in and does support everything that happens around this league, and hopefully you do continue to come back, and hopefully you do tell your friends and let them know about this awesome endeavor that happens every Thursday night with myself and Jacko at the wheel. Well, I mean, watching people at the wheel. Jacko does go at the wheel. I don't wheel at all. But yeah. Yeah, I think that's about it, Jacko. Are you sure you got nothing? That's it? That's it for you? This is the end of 2022, my guy.
Yeah, other than to say it's been a pretty good year of competing and observing the racing, and I look forward to another year of it in 2023.
Yeah, exactly that. And as per usual, I've been Crash McQueen, and I've been in lovely commentator partner here with Elma Jacko. The duo is back, with all due respect to Shelley. He was a great co-caster for a while. But we got some good, proper Australian analysis, and I'm excited to continue it on into the next season or the next year. So hopefully everyone does enjoy their weekend and has a good and happy and healthy end to the year. And best of luck to everyone in the new year. And